Let's talk about something that might be difficult to hear. We have been sold a myth about success. We've been told it's about the lightning strike of genius, the explosive overnight sensation, the one-in-a-million discovery. We look at the finished masterpiece, the championship moment, the breakthrough innovation, and we see only the peak of the mountain. We don't see the path that was carved to get there. We don't see the countless steps taken in the fog, the misdirections, the plateaus that seem to go on forever. We see the eruption, but never the immense, steady pressure building beneath the surface for millennia. This myth is seductive because it offers the promise of a shortcut. It whispers that you too could bypass the grind with one brilliant idea, one lucky connection, one viral moment. And this myth is profoundly dangerous. It sets you up for disillusionment. It makes the necessary work feel like a failure because it doesn't look like the story you were told. I want to replace that myth with a law. A simple, unglamorous, unshakable law. Mastery is not an event. It is a process. And the single most critical element of that process is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It is consistency. Consistency is the quiet engine of extraordinary achievement. It is the bridge between where you are and where you are capable of being. Today, we will walk across that bridge together. We will dismantle the attraction of the spectacular and build a profound respect for the steady. We will explore the principle of consistency and how it alone charts the path to true mastery. Think of a giant redwood tree. It stands over 300 feet tall, a monument of nature, enduring storms and centuries. Its size is awe-inspiring. But its strength, its true secret, is not found in its height. It is found in its root system. Just beneath the surface, spreading wide and shallow, is a network of roots that rarely goes deeper than 6 to 12 feet. But these roots intertwine with the roots of other redwoods. They form a matted, interconnected web that covers acres. This network allows them to share nutrients. It allows them to support one another against the wind. The visible majesty is only possible because of the invisible, interconnected, consistent work happening below ground. No one sees the roots. No one applauds them. But without that unseen, daily, relentless consolidation of strength, the tree would topple in the first major storm. Your life is no different. The visible victories, the promotion, the finished project, the personal best are your canopy. They are what the world sees and admires, but they are held aloft, nourished, and made possible by your root system. Your root system is your daily practice. It is the small, non-negotiable disciplines you perform whether you feel like it or not. It's the hour of study when no one is watching. It's the deliberate practice on a skill, repeating the fundamentals long after they are learned. It's the conscious choice to communicate with patience, to act with integrity, to prepare when you could procrastinate. This root system is built one day, one choice, one consistent action at a time, and it is never seen until the storm comes. And when the winds of crisis or competition or sheer bad luck blow, it is not your canopy that saves you, it is the depth and strength of your roots. The world celebrates the visible bloom, but the wise cultivate the invisible root. This brings us to a law you can build your life upon. Luck is often described as preparation meeting opportunity, but we misunderstand that statement. We think it's a passive collision, as if preparation is a one-time thing you finish and then you wait for the bus of opportunity to arrive. That is not it. The law is more precise, more active. It states opportunity is magnetically attracted to consistent preparation. You do not simply meet opportunity, you summon it. You generate a gravitational field of readiness through your daily actions. When you are consistently preparing, consistently showing up, consistently honing your craft, you are broadcasting a signal. You are putting yourself in a state of receptivity. You begin to see opportunities where others see chaos. You have the capacity to act on impulses that others are not equipped to handle. The person who writes every day will see a story in a mundane conversation. The person who studies markets every day will sense a shift others miss. The person who practices kindness as a discipline will build a network of trust that opens doors no resume can. Consistency creates a pattern, and it is this pattern that opportunity recognizes and aligns with. Think of it as tuning your instrument every single day. You may not have a concert scheduled, but when the conductor calls, your instrument is ready. It is in tune. It can play the music. The person who never practices is hopelessly out of tune. Even if they are handed the finest violin, the music they produce will be noise. Consistency is the tuning of your life. It is the daily calibration of your skills, your character, your mind. And when the moment arrives, and it will in forms you cannot predict, you will be ready not by accident, but by the law of magnetic attraction. You will have drawn that moment to you through the silent, steady power of your preparation. Now, let me tell you what consistency truly is. It is not about never failing. It is not about perfect execution every single day. That is a fantasy. Consistency is about pressure. More specifically, it's about what is revealed under pressure. Pressure does not create your character. Pressure reveals the patterns you have consistently built. It strips away the facade and shows the underlying structure. If you have consistently built a pattern of cutting corners, pressure will reveal a collapse. If you have consistently built the pattern of integrity, pressure will reveal a steadfast strength. The moment of crisis, the moment of high demand, is merely an X-ray. It shows you the truth of your daily habits. Consider two real-life examples, stripped of names. Look at an athlete. During the off-season, when no fans are watching, no championships are on the line, they have a choice. They can enjoy their rest, or they can engage in what is called skill stabilization. This is the unglamorous work of drilling the fundamentals thousands of times: the free throw, the proper tackling form, the swing mechanics. They do this until the correct motion is not a conscious thought, but a neurological pathway. It is embedded. Then, in the final moments of a championship game, with the crowd screaming, the clock ticking, and immense pressure bearing down, they do not rise to the occasion. They fall to the level of their consistent practice. The free throw swishes not because of magic, but because 10,000 quiet, consistent repetitions built a pattern that pressure could not distort. Now, consider a different arena. A leader navigating a corporate crisis. Information is flying, stakes are high, emotions are raw. In that moment, how they communicate, how they decide, how they hold the team together, this is not a new performance, it is a revelation. If they have consistently practiced transparent communication in calm times, that pattern will hold under fire. If they have consistently made decisions based on values rather than convenience, that pattern will guide them. If they have consistently built trust with their team through small, reliable actions, that trust will become the anchor in the storm. The pressure of the crisis does not create a great leader. It reveals whether one has been consistently building the habits of a great leader all along. This is the heart of it. Your daily life, with its small choices, is the factory where your future self is assembled. Every time you choose the disciplined path over the easy one, you are installing a component of strength. Every time you choose to follow through, you are welding integrity into your frame. You are building the pattern, and you may not feel it. The work feels small, separate, insignificant, but pressure will come. And in that moment, all those separate small actions will fuse together into a single, revealed character. You will not be hoping for strength. You will be accessing the strength you have been consistently depositing day after day into the account of your future. To build this pattern, you must understand its greatest enemy, and that enemy is not a lack of motivation. It is distraction. Distraction is the thief of consistency. It is the force that scatters your energy, fragments your focus, and interrupts the pattern before it can solidify. In a world designed to capture your attention every second, your ability to focus is not just a skill, it is a form of currency. It is your most valuable asset, and you must protect it as you would protect a chest of gold. You must guard it with intention and with ruthless simplicity. Focus is the laser beam that applies the heat of your effort to a single point long enough to create a change. Distraction is the diffuse light that leaves everything warm, but nothing transformed. You cannot be consistent across a dozen fronts at once. That is not consistency. That is frantic activity. True consistency requires a narrowing. It requires you to say, for this season, for this project, for this skill, this is my point of focus. And then you must build walls around that focus. You must create space for it. This means silencing the notifications that are nothing more than someone else's agenda for your attention. It means scheduling your deep work and honoring that appointment with yourself as you would honor an appointment with the most important person in your world, because you are. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that if I did it with consistent focus for the next 90 days would change everything? It might be a health practice. It might be a learning goal. It might be a relationship habit. Identify it, then protect the time for it. Make it sacred. The power is in the continuation. The magic is in the next. The decision you make in this moment to continue is the essence of the entire principle. It is the decision that separates a life of intention from a life of accident. So let us continue. Let us delve deeper into the anatomy of this path, into the very fibers of the consistent life. Let's talk about identity, because that is where this path truly begins and ends. Most people attempt change from the outside in. They try to force new actions onto an old self. They say, I need to exercise, while still identifying as someone who is out of shape and dislikes exertion. This creates a civil war within. The old identity fights the new action, and because the identity is more deeply rooted, it usually wins. The action feels like a costume, awkward and unsustainable. Consistency, then, is not first about action. It is about a shift in identity. You must move from, I am trying to do this, to, I am the kind of person who does this. How does this shift occur? It occurs through the very actions we've discussed, but with a different internal narrative. You do not go for a run thinking, ugh, I have to run because I want to lose weight. You go for a run thinking, I am a runner. This is what runners do. They run. You do not write for an hour thinking, I hope I can become a writer. You write thinking, I am a writer. Writers write. This is me practicing my craft. The action is no longer a means to an end. It is an expression of who you are. It is evidence of your identity. This subtle mental flip changes everything. It turns discipline from self-punishment into self-expression. It turns consistency from a grind into a confirmation of your own truth. When you act from identity, you are not exhausting willpower, you are fulfilling your nature. And what is more consistent than nature? The sun rises, the tides ebb and flow, a runner runs, a writer writes. You become a force of habit aligned with your own declared purpose. This is why the small daily action is so profound. It is a vote for your new identity. Every time you complete the action, you are casting a ballot for the person you are becoming. At first, the old identity has a majority of votes, a long history of evidence supporting it. But as you consistently cast new votes day after day, the tally begins to shift. One vote does not change an election, but a series of votes delivered consistently does. There is a critical moment, a tipping point, where the evidence for your new identity outweighs the evidence for the old. You have enough data points, enough completed actions that your self-concept updates. You no longer hope you are disciplined, you know you are, because you have the track record to prove it. The action is now automatic. It is who you are. This is the ultimate goal, to make excellence a matter of identity, not just effort. Now, to support this identity shift, you must structure your environment. You cannot rely on willpower alone in a world engineered to sabotage it. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. If you wish to be